Hello everyone, welcome along to the Sports Corner Live. We are back once again for another live watch along on the YouTube channel. How are we all doing? It's the final day of group stage action with groups E and F to all be completed today. But the question is, who's going to go through? There are 4 spots left. After yesterday, we saw Croatia be the next team to qualify for the next round. And with both these two groups in a position where all 4 teams can qualify, it makes for very exciting viewing. And I will be joined in a little bit by KL. I think he's just running late, so hopefully we will see him very, very shortly on stream. He'll be covering Slovakia up against Spain. I'll be covering Sweden against Poland. And of course, when he does come into the stream, we'll go through the lineups and that, which we'll go through anyway now in a second, but we'll go through the lineups as such and we'll see what's going on with the teams and who's going to be playing in the squads today. But very quickly, before we do have a look at the lineups and that, in the chat, we've got Sean. How are we doing? He's put Kieran's on. He's just arrived. He's in the building. There we go. Talk about timing. How are we, Kieran?
I'm all right, my friend. I was just trying to get the old stream up and just having a few issues, that's all. But we're back now. We're back.
That's so good. I mean, Sean has put Kieran's here. I can personally thank him from a Cobblers fan to a Tigers fan for the loan of Liam Roberts. So I know you wanted to say thank you yesterday, Sean, but are you even aware that's happened?
I know we sent them Jordan Flores. I'm not sure. I didn't know Liam Roberts. I know Jordan Flores went to Northampton. Sorry, but you're welcome.
It's new news to Kieran.
I swear it was Jordan Flores, Josh. Anyway,
I thought it was Flores because I remember, Sean, you put last night Flores. So unless you've got it mixed up or Liam Roberts has gone as well, then maybe you've let 2 players go to Northampton, but we'll have to see. But Peter's in the building as well. I would in Peter's put afternoon, folks. How are we, Peter? Hope you're good as always, mate. Good to see you in the stream. Hopefully you do win on any bets you've got today. And then Kyle's in the building as well. He's put, hey all, how are we doing, Kyle? Hope you're all good as always. But what I was saying before, of course, we were able to kind of properly start the stream is that with the way that the groups are looking, which I'll go through now, betterly timed, of course. This is how the qualification stands for the teams with the technically third place positions. So Switzerland are now through, Kieran, which is brilliant to see. So you've got both Austria and Switzerland in there, which makes life even better for you. We know Czech Republic already made it through yesterday with England. There are 2 spots left between the 4 clubs. It's very likely today Ukraine are going to be booted out.
Yeah.
The only way that they could stay in is if I think it would have to be any of the teams between Sweden and Poland didn't finish third, which I don't think is possible. So either way, Ukraine will get booted out of there. So Portugal, they're already in there still. Obviously, that can change because they are playing tonight. They could actually finish, I think, on top of the group if they were to win. So it's looking likely whoever finishes third in this group is going to probably make the next round of the tournament. And in terms of how the group's looking, for those of you that are wondering as well, I haven't actually got the picture up on the screen. But right now, Sweden are on top of the group with 4 points. Slovakia in second on 3 points. Spain third on 2 points. And Poland bottom on 1 point. Realistically, 4 points is going to be the target for all 4 teams today to make it through to the next round. And I mean, it's mad, isn't it, to think, Kieran, that Spain are sat right now with a chance of not even making the actual knockout stages.
Yeah, not where you expect Spain to be by any means. And the way they've played this tournament, to be fair, dominating the ball, all the chances, they just can't get the results, which is, it's a results business, football. But today I think they'll have enough to beat Slovakia and actually get a victory on the board. Luckily for them, I think even if they draw, they just knock out Ukraine based on goal difference on a 0. And it will be enough to see them sneak in. But they'll have to beat teams like Slovakia. They need a confidence booster to go into the knockout stages with.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Ukrainian fan, realistically, the hope you've got today is that Sweden and Spain probably both win. So then Slovakia and Poland don't have enough points to make it through. But even then, obviously Slovakia on a 0-goal difference, they'd have to rely on Slovakia losing by a few goals in that game, which is possible, very possible indeed. But we'll have to see what goes on in that match. Before we go through the lineups, Kyle says he's going to be watching the Sweden-Poland game. Good to see.
Yeah.
I think Sweden and Slovakia
Whoa.
will both win. Interesting. I like that. We could have a real shock on the cards if that happens. Peter Thompson saying he got some shark steaks for half time. Ooh, never had shark before. Smells quite nice in the oven though. Well, hopefully it's nice for you, because I can't say I've ever had shark before myself.
I've had barracuda, if that's close.
It's probably as close as we're going to get.
I didn't like it. I hate seafood, so I don't. But it was the fact that I could come back and once say, "Oh, I tried barracuda," and finally, look, it's come to light only about 4 years later. There you go.
Who thought in a stream like this you were going to say barracuda?
there we go. That's what I did it for.
And then Daz has put, afternoon, Josh and Kieran, how are you both doing today? I'm doing very good indeed, and Kyle's doing very well as well. Hopefully you're good, Daz, as always. But of course, the game's going to start in a second, so let's go through the lineups and get through it. So starting off with Slovakia against Spain, 4-2-3-1 for the Slovakians today. Remember, a point will be enough for them to go through to the next round. Dubravka is in goal, back four of Hubachan and Pekarik is the two fullbacks, with Milan Skriniar and Saka as the two centre-backs. Midfield three could be a 4-3-3 if you want, probably a 4-2-3-1. You got Juraj Kuchka and Haramada as the two midfielders. Marek Hamšík could play a little bit further forward as an attacking midfielder. You've got Harasalin and Mack as the two wide players, and Andre Duda as the striker. We've just lost KL for the second. Hopefully, he'll be back in just a moment's time. Vladimir Vis and a few other players, Stanislav Lobotka, Laszlo Benes as well on the bench, which should make for an interesting game for Slovakia. As for Spain, a few changes to their lineup, 4-3-3, as expected from them today. I've lost my mouse. There we go. Unai Simon is in goal. Back four of Jordi Alba and Azpilicueta as the two fullbacks. Laporte and Garcia as the two centre-backs. Busquets comes in for the first time since the COVID outbreak that he had. He's alongside Pedri and Koke. Moreno, Sarabia are the two wide midfielders. Morata, of course, stays up top. Looking at the Spain squad, Kieran,
Yep.
do you think Busquets will give the bit of defensive freedom that'll allow the midfielders to go forward? Because that could be one of the problems. I'm going to stop for a second because there's already a goal, and Sweden have taken the lead after a minute, and it's Forsberg who's put the ball in the back of the net, and Kieran didn't even get to answer the question because out of nothing, Sweden have taken the lead, 1-0.
Yeah. Well, you talk about your goal, Josh. Forget the bloody Sergio Busquets role. What's happened?
Well, it's one long ball lofted up by Sweden. It's not really well defended at the back, I have to be honest. It is a calamity of errors at the back from Poland. Eventually, the ball bobbles into the path of Forsberg. He's in the box. There's a slight deflection on the ball, which I think it just comes off Jan Bednarek, and it can't be saved by Szczesny. And that's the perfect start for Sweden. 1-0 up already after, what, a minute and 30 seconds?
That's insane. And exactly what they wanted. Because I was going to say to you, I actually think Sweden will deservedly top the group today. I think they're too good for Poland in terms of an overall team. I don't think Poland actually have been that impressive, even with the draw they got against Spain. But yeah, there you go, 1-0, and what a start.
Perfect start indeed. Perfect start. And apparently that is the fastest goal at this Euros, which is very true, because I'd be interested to see what the second fastest one is, because it's probably about 30 minutes into the game. But back to what I was saying before, Busquets, a bit more defensive freedom for the likes of Koke and Pedri to maybe push forward a bit.
Yeah, and some much needed, experience, some leadership in the middle of the park. You know, we had Rodri, Koke and Pedri being that midfield three, and I didn't see a real leader. But with Busquets, he's been there, he's done it, pretty much everything you can do in football for a much rotated Spain side. So I think it'll be a real key linchpin, because we've always said for ages how underrated Busquets is. it'll be nice to see him play. Probably his last European Championships, I would probably say.
Yeah, I would say so. What, another 4 years or 3 years at least till the next one. So I don't think he'll be playing another one at the very least. We'll go through the Sweden-Poland lineups now. Of course, Sweden already taken the lead after about a minute and a half. 1-0 Emil Forsberg. Olsen is in goal, 4-4-2 today for Sweden. Augustinsson and Lustig are the two centre backs. Danielsson and Lindelof at the back. Lindelof, as I've actually put. Pretty much same back four. It's literally the same team apart from Kajsen, who's coming up top rather than Marcus Berg. Of course, on the bench is Berg, Kraft, Janssen, Kulusevski as well, who has come back recently from COVID. So good to see him fit for this game. As for Poland, 3-4-2-1 again. Not really changed the lineup apart from Krychowiak coming back into the team from his suspension. Little bit disappointed Zielinski's out on the left again, because obviously we watched the game, didn't we, where Poland faced against Spain, and he was very void of confidence and ideas, and he was always moving into the midfield. But I mean, I was going to ask you at first, what do you think of this game and what could potentially happen? But I mean, it's already been blown out of the water.
No, I do think Sweden were going to win the game, if not draw the game. I don't see them getting beat by Poland, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I don't think, even with the point they got, Poland were too impressive. And Krychowiak's back in the middle today for, his second game of the tournament after being suspended. And I just don't think there's enough in that team. Lewandowski is the star, but I don't see anything besides that.
Yeah, they're going to be relying on Lewandowski again tonight, no doubt. It should be an interesting game, and we'll go through some of the comments. As we said, the games are underway. Already a goal within the first 5 minutes. Peter saying Sweden are too big and strong for Poland, and I agree with you. I think, as you said before, already qualified Sweden. They're so defensively structured and organised that I don't see many chances for Poland to break them down. And I'm seeing the goal again. It's just a calamity of errors at the back. Kamil Glick, I think, has gone to try and clear the ball, completely misses it, and then it just bounces towards Forsberg, and it's just a calamity of errors. And no doubt you'll see it on your screen soon if you haven't already.
I have seen it. It's a really tidy finish into the bottom right-hand corner across his body. But you're right, there's a complete melee on the edge of the box. No one really knows what they're doing. And a player like Kamil Glick should be doing better, because he's been around for many a year and in many important games as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's not going to be as calamitous as the North Macedonia goal for Mr. Goran Pandev, but it will be up there.
There'll never be a goal that bad in this Euros. I can guarantee it now.
Got throw in here. Long throwing, by the way, for Sweden. If they could go 2-0 up here after 7 minutes, then this would be the perfect start. It's going to be Lindelof who takes it. It's lobbed into the box. It's going to come towards Isaac. Still got the ball. It's not going to come to anything in the end, but lively start for Sweden. Looking very good, as you'd expect. Yeah,
of course. And I will say in this game, we did have a slight chance for the Spanish. They had a shot across goal, which Dubravka saved. Then there was a block in the box subsequent to that. But Spain have definitely made the brighter start. You'd expect it. Never guess what? They've dominated the ball, as they have done in every single game so far. But I do think, as much as Slovakia have impressed everyone this Euros, I do think Spain will have slightly too much. What's your thoughts? Of course, we've said on Sweden-Poland.
In the back of my head, I was thinking 1-1. All day long, I've been thinking 1-1. It'll boot Spain out of the tournament, because obviously they're going to need 4 points, as we said before, with the way it's looking. Well, actually, no. For now, it would put them in there if they were to get points. As you said, goal difference would boot out Ukraine, but it would then depend on what happens in Group F, which, again, it's looking very likely that there is going to be a team in that group that finishes on 4 points, which would then, again, boot Spain out of it. So it could be a case of, if they were to draw, they'll be anxiously watching the other game tonight. But I'm backing Slovakia. I'm going to say 1-1. I think all they need is a point. I think they'll try and stay as reassured as they possibly can.
Yeah.
I just think as well, when you look at the Spain team, there are quite a few changes in there. And I would expect them today to not play a similar approach to what they did in the last two and to just go for it, because they can't have the ball for 30, 40 minutes of a game and not do anything with it. They need to show a sense of urgency. And have they shown a sense of urgency yet in the first nearly 10 or so minutes, or has it been quite quiet?
It hasn't been quiet. I think that'd be harsh on Spain. I think they have tried to pass opportunities. They are putting some balls into the box, but Dubravka's dealing with them. They have had one, I would say, clear opportunity in the opening 10 minutes, but we saw the other night, urgency hasn't really been the Spaniards' thing so far this summer. Even when they've been level, they'll stick to their guns and play the way they like to play.
Definitely. We've got a chance, Poland coming forward. They're going to get a corner. I genuinely thought we were going to get a Poland goal because I think it was Sidevski at the halfway line who was wiped out by Olsen, who's actually going to get a yellow card. It was a 2-on-2. Lewandowski was up there with Zielinski. And then it was just Lewandowski's ball. He tried to play it into Zielinski. It was just a little bit too heavy, the pass. And it's kind of, you want the role reversal in that situation. Yeah. You want Zielinski to be there. And it's a lively start to this game. And they've got a corner here, Poland. If they could get something, get an instant equaliser, be a perfect start. Zielinski with the ball into the box. He's gone back up into the air again, but the referee's actually blown it for a foul, I think, on which Lewandowski's given away, and Sweden can breathe for the moment. But nice lively start to this game, as you'd expect.
Well, we are looking at a potential penalty here on a VAR check, and the penalty will be for Spain. It was kind of a clearance, but he appears to have maybe kicked through the ankle of the Spaniard before getting to the ball. We're just going to have a look now. The referee is pointing to his ear. We've had some good ref in this tournament, though, so
we'll have to see whether or not they do give it. As seen in the chat, Peter did put Spain just go sideways and backwards most of the time. He's also gone for a 1-1 draw.
There is a review of a penalty. We're just looking now. He's going over to the monitor, the referee today. Oh, let's just have another look if we can get a closer angle. He goes to clear the ball, and I think that's a penalty, to be fair. I think he tries to kick the ball, but he kicks through the ankle of Koke. Referee agrees it's a penalty to Spain, Josh, early in this game. Exactly what they will have wanted, not the same for Slovakia, unfortunately.
The question is, are they going to score it this time? Because the last penalty they were given, they missed it.
Well, I will say it's Homoda who's given away the penalty. Rowan will be fuming because I'm pretty sure does he play for Slavia, Homoda? I'm pretty sure he does.
Yes, he was back in Japan.
There you go. But I think this time Morata's going to step up to take the penalty.
And we know what's going to happen. If he misses this, then it's going to cause some controversy in terms of the decision to keep playing him.
Yeah, but Gerard Moreno missed the one in the other game. So, he's been stripped of his duties. They're going to the man who has been showed faith by Luis Enrique, much to fans' dismay.
Where do you think he's going? Bottom left, top right?
Bottom right. He hits it, and he's saved by Dubravka. They've missed 2 in a row.
That's just Spain's luck, isn't it? It's Spain's luck.
He went to the keeper's right, but it was a good height for the goal. I'm not sure why the fan is cheering that they've just zoomed in on. He's a Spaniard. Why are you cheering? But
obviously, it's not like Morata.
No, it's not fully in the corner. It's a good height for Dubravka. It's a good save as well, but it's 0-0. Spain miss another penalty. And penalties are just bad at these Euros, aren't they? I swear. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it seems to be that these Euros tournaments have been cursed for penalties because there's a select few that can take good ones. And then there's a select few, specifically Spain, that just don't know how to put the ball in the back of the net. So if they do go through, whichever team they do face, they're going to be on their lips thinking they're probably going to miss them all.
Yeah, take them to pens. Don't even try, just take them to pens.
Unbelievable that. I mean, as we said a moment ago, for Morata, who has had so much, not controversy, but a lot of disappointment from Spanish fans than the media in general, will no doubt, if they don't come out of this game with a win, is going to be all over the media again for bad news of missing that pen.
Yeah, but now also, I wouldn't be surprised if he pops up with the goal that gives them the lead. He is just that player. As well, but...
Chance for Sweden. Isaac trying to lay a ball off to the path of Forsberg, and Berezzinski gets there in the nick of time. And I tell you something, this Poland back line have been opened up by Sweden, and so nearly the man who I think a lot of people are saying is one of the players of the tournament so far, and he's not actually scored a goal yet, but he's got Sweden a corner. Have you had a chance in your game?
No, it was a little bit of a coming together in the middle of the park, and Busquets nudged. I'm not sure who it was the back of. It might have been Kuchka. But then Kuchka kind of flicks his leg back, maybe in a natural thing, and then connects with the calf of Busquets. For me, it looked like he knew exactly what he was doing, but just a little coming together. A little bit nasty, Josh,
Tactical foul, I guess you could say.
Yeah, definitely so. It's one of them nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It's natural, that. I just walking. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Got to make sure that they lay down the law on the Spanish players early on in the game, as we are around about nearly 15 minutes into both matches. It's just to give you a heads up as well for everybody wondering what happens in terms of the group and who would face who. Obviously, as it stands, this can change depending on what happens, but the winner of this group, which is Sweden, will play whoever finishes third in Group B, C, or D, which, of course, we already know that those groups are all done and dusted. That means they've got the potential, Sweden right now, of facing either Finland, Ukraine, who obviously might not make it through, or the Czech Republic, which is looking like it's probably going to be Finland or Czech Republic, which makes that side of the draw very exciting because one of those teams is going to make your quarterfinals.
Yeah. And I do like Czech Republic. I think they've been very, very good so far this tournament. Yesterday, we'll ignore the second half, pretend it didn't exist. But in terms of performances from the Czech, again, they never really looked ruffled apart from the early goal, and they're just a very good structured side. And I think that's what you can say about most of them teams, like Finland, etc., who've just been structured throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah, exactly. And we know obviously Finland are out. They're not going to make it through, so it can't be Group B. We know Ukraine is still in it, but they could be knocked out. So it is looking like it is going to be the Czech Republic that they face. Obviously, as we go on, we'll know by the end of the night. And then obviously, as we look on as well, for the team that finishes second in this group, they will go up against Croatia, which I was saying last night, I would love for Spain to finish second, because that would make for a very exciting game. But right now, obviously, the team in second place would be Slovakia. Again, another interesting game that would be, because potential of maybe Slovakia make a next round, and there's a chance. Oh, is it in? How's that not in? They've hit the bar twice. I thought he was in. Honestly, if they show you this chance on your replay, I cannot believe it is not 1-1 to Poland. It was the corner, I think, that was whipped in, and I need to see this on the replay. It looked like basically what had happened is ball had gone into the box. Lewandowski had headed the ball. It hit the bar. Ricocheted back to Lewandowski's head, who headed it again, hit the bar again, and then ricocheted back out. Unbelievable.
My Lord. And if he hadn't scored in the last game, I was going to say that sums up Lewandowski's tournament. But
it is a sitter. The second header is a sitter. All he's got to do is head the ball down. But what he does is he tries to just put the power on the header, and it just gets underneath the ball and it raises it up. And as it hits the bar for the second time, a player of his caliber has got to score that. That is a sitter.
Can't quite believe it. And Poland need them opportunities to go their way today, because they're the team on the outside looking in at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. They are. It's weird, isn't it? Because obviously being in fourth, not the best, but with the way that the group's panned out, there's only really been one team that's kind of done really well in the group, and that's been Sweden. Obviously, Slovakia, I think, have done very good, but they've not been able to push away and get themselves a guaranteed spot. So it's weird to say Poland are in a very similar position to what Scotland were last night.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, there's a few teams groups that have been that tight. You look at Denmark, who were fourth at the start of the day, hopped themselves into the next stage. You look at Croatia last night. I think they were fourth in the group, hopped their way back in, or they were third or fourth, either one. But they hopped their way back into qualification. It's just a lot of these groups have had something to play for on the final day, and that's, for me, is what's made this final day, by clear margins, the best match day of this Euro so far. Every game's kind of been relatively exciting, I would say.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Let's hope Hungary can do the same tonight and go through. That'd be a brilliant story, wouldn't it, if Hungary were to beat Germany and make it through on third place?
And that's a lovely ball, lofted over the top of the defence, but unfortunately, I think in the end it was Pablo Sarabia on the wing today. It's one of them where he's watching it come over his shoulder. He's trying to volley it home, but he can't quite connect with him. It's a difficult finish, to be fair to the PSG man, but, it's a tough one. 0-0 still.
And as time goes on, you'll start to think, I know obviously in the first half, maybe not as such, still early days, but if we do get to half time, 45 minutes in, if it is still 0-0 between Slovakia and Spain, they're going to hear the news that Sweden are doing all they need to do.
I don't know how it is still 0-0. This time it's Pedri, the teenager. Azpilicueta's on the right-hand side. He cuts it back onto his left, whips it into the box. It's there for the taking, and Pedri leaps at it to try and prod it home, but he can't connect with it, and it just... all Dubravka can do is watch it go wide. It's a brilliant ball by Azpilicueta. But this is Spain in a nutshell.
This has been the problem, and it's mad, isn't it? Because Rafael van der Vaart, I know obviously he's doing punditry in Holland and that. I think he came out and he said something. It sounded very harsh, but it was honest. He went, I would love for the Netherlands to come up against Spain because I personally think their attack is terrible. They do too much with the ball and not enough in attack, that I feel like a team like Netherlands could make the most of the opportunities against them. And I don't think he's wrong. I think, as he perfectly put, they do way too much with the ball. And, obviously it's very nice seeing the pass and go football, the tiki-taka, I guess you could say. But if you're not doing anything with it, it doesn't make for entertaining football.
Yeah, they're a team that I feel like teams that are defensively solid against them, like Slovakia were, like Poland were, like Sweden were, that sit 10, are absolutely buzzing to come up against a team that are happy to play it in front of them for half an hour and create, chances that should go in, but they ain't got anyone to finish them. So Spain are a weird one because they're a good team, but in this tournament, they've just been so wasteful.
Yeah, I agree with you. And talking about wasteful chances, Kyle putting in the chat, Lewandowski should be scoring that easy, simple goal. He's been so poor at the Euros, and it was a sitter. We should be sat here saying it's 1-1 and an even game, which will make for an exciting match. But instead, there's going to be a long throw in here for Sweden, which Lindelof's going to take. It's lobbed into the box. It's eventually cleared in the end. But we said before, teams like Poland are going to get very few chances in matches. Yeah. And a player of Lewandowski's caliber should be putting that in the back of the net. And I still can't believe it's not 1-1. It's awful chance he's missed.
He's had a few of them this tournament, though. And I think we had one. He had some in the opening game against Slovakia. I know he had one against Spain in the first half. He rectified it in the second. But, if Lewandowski can have a few more of them chances, he's not going to miss them all. He is world class. But he should be doing better with the ones he's been given at this tournament. It's not been his best tournament by any means.
No, definitely not. And I think you can look as well. We said before, the quality of the team around him isn't exactly helpful either. I think we've said before that Poland have not got the quality in the front apart from Lewandowski. And even when you look to the bench, it's a little bit weak in comparison to other sides. But when you have got a player of his quality up top, you know that if he does get one or two chances in the game, apart from today, he's more likely to take them on and put them in the back of the net. And that will be the risk for Sweden. And talking about him now, there's a chance in the box and the pass is a little bit too heavy in the end. I think it was a decent little pass from, I think it was it looks like Josh Viak. Yeah, Josh Viak with the outside of his foot, but it's too heavy in the end. And you think when he's at Bayern, and he has got players like Muller and Gnabry, not Gnabry, sorry. Gnabry around him.
Yeah, Gnabry's there, mate, yeah.
I thought for a second, I was trying to think of, I nearly said, I think Havertz was in my mind. And I was about to say Havertz, he's not there right now. He's probably not going to be bound for a few years. But when you've got players those qualities around him,
yeah,
he's going to put the ball in the back of the net, as we've seen in the Bundesliga. He can put 5-6 goals in a match if he wants to.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just unfortunately when he's in for Poland, I also feel like he has an extra weight on his shoulders because everybody knows he is far and away the best player that Poland have. So maybe he has a little bit of added extra pressure. Because I know for Bayern, if he's not going to put the goal in, Muller will. Or as you say, Gnabry will, Whereas for Poland, if he misses a gilt-edged opportunity, he's probably thinking, I don't know if anyone else can put this ball in the back of the net but me. And we've seen that this tournament. He's the only one who's ever looked a threat. Linetti did it in the first game, but that was because he couldn't miss. I feel like he couldn't miss, but yeah.
They've got a free kick here, though, Poland. It's in a good position. Ball lobbed into the box. Comes towards the near post. Good header away by, I think it was Danielson who got there in the end. He's been brilliant in this tournament. And as Peter said himself, Poland, they've had their 10 minutes of play now. Sweden due up to score again. And they had little moments there, Poland, but I think it'll be one of those games, realistically, for me, where if they don't take a chance soon, I can see Sweden getting a second in this match and not killing the game off, but making it very, very hard as we're just having a drinks break.
Oh, it must be bloody boiling. But no, I think Sweden, to be fair, will cause Poland a lot more trouble. I think Isak, as you mentioned earlier, hasn't scored a goal, but he's been absolutely lights out this tournament. He's been absolutely brilliant for my standards anyway.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one. I would agree. Where's it being played in? Russia. Yeah. Let's have a look at the Russian weather and see what it's like today.
What is it like in Russia this time? Oh.
Not the weather I'd want to be playing football in.
Oh, we're having a cooling break. Look at this.
Where's your game being played at?
I have no idea, my friend. I've not seen the centre of the pitch. Do you know where it says the city behind?
Let's have a look.
I'm going to guess Azerbaijan. That'll be my first guess, but you can... Oh, no, is it? No, it's in Seville. Of course it's in Seville.
Let's have a look
Spain
at the
are at home.
Seville weather. It's in Seville today, 32 degrees, so very warm.
Yeah, we're actually colder than you, so, But
players will feel a bit more refreshed.
This is the thing, right? Someone mentioned it, I think it was one of the commentators or maybe one of the pundits. It's weird that Spain have played all these games at home, but it doesn't really feel like the crowd have ever been right up for the games. And is that because of the way they play? And the fact, because I feel like, when you watch Hungary, that crowd was going up. There we go. Luis Enrique is actually trying to get the crowd going. So that's one thing that has been slightly missing, I think.
Yeah, I think he's probably more frustration than anything from the fans. I mean, first game, you go into it fresh mind. And I guess it was literally just a repeat in the second match of the first game, all the chances that they had in the possession.
Yeah.
Probably more than anything, it'll be fans with very big nerves because this is the first time in a long time I think we've sat here and said Spain could get knocked out. There is a possibility. Sometimes in groups where teams are in dire positions after 2 or 3 match days, you kind of laugh a bit thinking, let's say England, for example, you sit there and you think, oh, England, they'll make it through in the end. Or Germany sat bottom of the group in the World Cup, for example, they'll make it through in the end somehow. Obviously they didn't, but I think Spain are in a very dire position here, a very dire one, because they know if they don't win, they're gone and there's nothing they can do about it.
I think, no, I don't want to say fortunately, but like the likes of Finland and the like of Ukraine who've already come third in their group, a draw, as we say, might be enough for Spain. But again, if I'm this crowd, do you feel instilled that this team's going to... I mean, let's be fair. They may be going the spitting image Portugal route. What? Maybe that's the tactical plan. They'll go draw the way through the group.
Know.
Yeah, and somehow it's enough again. But that I wouldn't be instilled with hope that they're going to go all the way. But then again, people said that against Portugal, and they grew into the tournament and won it.
Chance here for Poland. Ball's lobbed into the box. Going to come towards Zielinski. Tried to do some form of flick to keep the ball in play, and it's actually gone out in the end. But if you finish third in the group, what a cracker of a game this would be. Obviously, as it stands, it would be Spain that would finish third. They would play Belgium. What a game that would be for the round of 16. Belgium v Spain.
It would be. I can't wait for the fixtures to be announced. Obviously, we all have our favourite teams, don't we, Josh? I already know that I'm having to sit through Austria, Italy, which, oh my God, I don't want to sit through. It's going to be a massacre, Josh. I don't like it.
Well, I already knew that. I already had your name down for it instantly. I knew you wanted it.
I don't want it, though. And Switzerland, obviously, we don't know because the third place one's weird at the moment because I'm not sure how they figure out who plays who. But I'm guessing it's like if you were the second best third place team, you play this team, or if you were the third, but I don't know. But
realistically, it basically gets to a point where obviously because we're now at a stage where we roughly know what teams are going to make it through and what aren't.
Yeah,
it's purposely set up so those teams that do get knocked out and don't go through as a third place team, they're in a bracket just in case. So, for example, for Switzerland, they're obviously in Group A, third place team, so they could either face in their next round. It would be the winners of Group F, or they would play off against Belgium. Now, it's looking probably likely that they'll face off against. It's looking like it'll be.
What in the world has just happened?
Who scored?
The ball is struck from the edge of the box, and it hits the crossbar, and it floats back down, and I'm pretty sure Dubravka's hit it in his own net. It's hit the bar, and then time stood still, Josh. It just floated back down, and I think Dubravka's gone to parry it over the crossbar and parried it in his own net. It came from nothing. Because I'm pretty sure I was confident Dubravka was going to deal with it, but Sarabia, hell of a strike, hits the top of the crossbar. It's lovely. And then the ball is floating down. Let me get a closer look here.
Here we go. I'm seeing it on mine now.
He hits it in his own net.
Oh, he does as well.
He gets
the hand to it and he pushes it in.
What? He's completely lost it. He loses the flight of it. He's behind him, so he has to try and claw it back over the crossbar, and he just claws it into his own net. We thought we wouldn't see a worse one than the Austrian one, Josh. Maybe we jinxed it.
Yeah, I think we might have jinxed it because that is awful. I don't know what he's thinking in that situation to get his hand out to it.
He seems to have it dealt with. Then he's misjudged it, so it's behind him. And he tries to claw it over the top, and he just claws it into his own net. And Dubravka saved the penalty. He's had a good game so far. If the Spanish strikers aren't going to score, the goalkeeper of the other team might as well put it in for them.
I don't know what he's thinking in that situation. That is an absolutely terrible, not even a mistake. It's just a moment of madness from Dubravka to put that pretty much into his own net with his hand.
And Slovakia are now level on points and level on goal difference with Ukraine. So what does it come to next? Goals scored?
It goes down to goals scored.
Which would be Ukraine, surely.
I think it would be, yes.
So at the moment, it'd be Ukraine. Finland would still be out. Slovakia would still be out. And obviously, we'd have to wait till later tonight, of course.
Yeah. It's interesting because obviously right now with Spain going into second place, it is setting up a game potentially against Croatia, which is another good round of 16 tie if that was to happen. Obviously, still depends if Sweden do get the victory.
Did you say Switzerland could play the winner of Group F?
Yes, and it's looking like it's very likely they will play the winner of Group F, potentially speaking.
And Group F is this one?
The Group of Death.
No, not that one. Don't give us that one.
Right, no. From what I'm seeing, let me have a look and see where Switzerland are again. So they're in Group A, obviously finished third in the group. So potentially 1F, which is the winner of the group,
Oh.
They could play either Belgium or the winner of Group F. Now,
Oh,
Groups E and F could still play Belgium. Group He's probably looking like they'll play the winner of Group F, I think.
oh, it's just not worth it, is it? Just go out of the tournament instead. Just go out. Doesn't matter.
So,
I
mean, Switzerland v France potentially.
Oh, I don't want. I'd love to see it because I saw the other day because I remember I put it in the group. There was 3 options of who they could play, and there was one that was much more favourable than any other, and I can't remember what it was. But I'm guessing that can't happen anymore because it wouldn't have been Belgium or France. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it can't happen anymore. They are literally between Belgium and the winner of Group F. They can't get any other.
Oh, God's sake! What was the other one? I feel like it was either Spain or Netherlands or something. I can't remember. I don't know. I feel like it was someone like that.
Not what you want, is it? When your two teams make it through Austria and Switzerland, and both of them have got to face off against one of the top dogs.
Yeah, that is just heartbreak of the highest order. But
you're gonna have 2 very long round of 16 streams.
I will. I really will. You won't see me after the round of 16. I'll just be rocking in a corner. Anyway.
Oh, look, Sweden in here. Might be a chance for him to get a second. Kicks on with the ball into the box, and it's going to go out of play for a corner. But it's so disappointing, isn't it? Because you think Dubravka saves the penalty and then goes and just punches it in his own net.
Yeah, and we know how good of a goalkeeper Dubravka can be. He is a very good keeper. He's a really good shot stopper. He's made some good saves in this half alone. But that one mistake eradicates what comes before, and that's the perils of being a goalkeeper.
Yeah, you're not wrong indeed. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find out. I think there was a website which keeps you up to date. There we go. Let me see if it's updating as we go along. I don't think it is, but I'm pretty sure there was a website that was actually keeping you up to date with who finishes third as the time goes on.
Yeah.
Let's have a look and see. This piece was updated. It's just after every set of games. Okay, so we'll know after the matches have done who potentially will go through. But how the third place teams are based, for those of you wondering, if you don't really know, to make it easy for you. So obviously it goes on points first, then it goes on goal difference, and then it goes down to the number of goals scored. So right now, Ukraine scored a total of 4 goals in their group. As for Slovakia, they've scored 2. So Ukraine still stay in it for now, just based on the goals that they scored, which might mean that match against Netherlands, although they lost it, right now could still be very decisive to whether they go through or not.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's one of them where Ukraine, I feel like they've been one of the more Jekyll and Hyde teams so far this tournament. We saw them. This has got to be offside, by the way. He's missed anyway, but he was offside. Yeah, I was going to say. But we saw them against Netherlands put up a really good fight and almost have it be enough. Then we saw them get kind of, I don't want to say destroyed by Austria, but they weren't very good against Austria, and that surprised a lot of people. So really up and down for Ukraine, and they looked good against Macedonia. For the first half, especially, I think first half they were lights out in that game. But I don't know which one we're going to get.
A very topsy-turvy team, as you said. One day they can turn up and be incredible, the next day they can't. But as Peter said in the chat, if Ukraine do go through, whoever we're going to get them would probably beat them quite easily. Pathetic team, 2 out of 10 for them. And then Cal said in the chat, you're on high for so long, KL, and now you've come crashing back down to the earth after that news. Unlucky.
Thank you. Trust me. I was dancing around the house the other day because I knew Austria were through. And I'm pretty sure it was later that night because there was 2 fixtures on the day. It got confirmed that Switzerland were in. What a great day that was. Life changes really quick, doesn't it, boys?
The dream scenario would have been Austria versus Switzerland, so one of them could have gone through at the minimum to the next round.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
I would have had to back Switzerland just because they have a more of a Gladbach contingent. I can't bring myself to support Germany. It's not in an Englishman's thing to support Germany. But they have a few Gladbach players as well, so I wish Ginter well. etc. tonight. Are you on that one tonight? Are you looking forward to it? Because it's going to be a hell of 2 games, that.
I am, yeah. Obviously, Rowan's going to be doing Germany, Hungary. I've got Portugal, France. I've got a feeling Portugal are going home.
Do you know what? I'm not sure, because isn't third in that group already on 3 points?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be. Obviously, it depends on what happens here, but they might have 3 points and it still be enough to just sneak their way in.
I think it's whether or not, if France were to batter them, that could make things very interesting, because obviously if it does go down to goals scored, then Portugal will be all right because they've scored 5. They've actually scored more than any other team in the group. But if they do concede more, which is what it goes down on first, then they've got a goal difference of only 1. Yeah. If they were to lose by 3 tonight, let's say, their goal difference could go down to -1, -2. And then they've actually got a worse goal difference than Ukraine, which would then mean, again, depending on the other result between Germany and Hungary, as long as Hungary don't win, Ukraine will go through, which would be incredible.
Yeah, that's the thing. And we saw the defensive frailties of this Portuguese side against Germany. A Germany that I've got to admit looked a side transformed in that second game. When and most of that, I've got to admit, was due to Robin Gosens. I thought it was absolutely lights out, fantastic, unbelievable game. But we'll have to see, because France, 2 teams coming off disappointing performances, I would say, especially for France's standards. And I think Germany, who coming into it, you wouldn't have expected to top the group, have as good a chance as any of going through as group leaders, which, from a Switzerland perspective, it's not France. At least it's not France.
From an England perspective, you're thinking, oh, great. Oh, dear, we've got to face one of the top dogs anyway. But the dream scenario for me tonight, I think, has to be Portugal lose, Hungary win, Hungary finish 3rd, Portugal bottom. See you later, they're gone. Hungary 3rd place. Brilliant. We love to see it. That's what we want.
It'd be some feat from Hungary, to be fair.
I said it yesterday. I think it would be one of the most shocking group stages of all time in terms of the actual result itself, for Hungary to still have a chance of finishing 3rd. Fair play to them. But we've got a corner here for Poland. This game's been fairly quiet, to be honest with you. There's not been many chances for Poland's west of a corner. Nothing comes from it. It's headed away by Forsberg, and that kind of sums up Poland so far in this game. Is it being fairly eventful in yours? Does Poland get another corner again?
Not really, to be honest with you, mate. Slovakia have not really offered anything, if I'm being 100% honest, in the attacking areas, and I think they will have been happy to have tried to get a point, which is what they've done for long period. Very similar to how they played against Sweden, when they sat back for a long periods and they gave away a penalty. Yeah. Very similar to what happened in this game, actually. But I worry for them when they go behind, because I don't have the faith in their attack to claw themselves back into it. You've got to admit, against Poland, they were playing against 10 men, slightly easier, of course. So I do worry a little bit that Spain are happy to have the 1-0 because all they do is dominate possession, and Slovakia don't offer enough on the other end to worry them. So I've got a feeling I'm going to be pretty bored. But fingers crossed that won't happen. Back on what you said, by the way, I actually think it will be one of the greatest group stage performances ever. You think, you go back and you maybe say, Hungary last time, but you look at the group, Iceland, Austria, Portugal, but they're in a group with Portugal, France, Germany, the 2 of the last world champions. Unbelievable if they were to make it through.
It's the toughest international draw there's ever been. I think there's no doubts about that. It's the toughest group that there's ever been in football. I would say, in terms of the Euros at the very least, and the World Cup. And for them to potentially, to still be here tonight and have a chance of going through, fair fucking play to them, because they'll have gone into that group thinking we're probably going to get battered. We'll finish maybe on 0 points. They've gone in there without any fear, any doubts, any worries. They nearly got a result against Portugal, which could have made this group even more interesting had they held on for another 10 minutes, because we could have been with Portugal on 1 point after 2 games rather than the few points that they have got on the board. And that's a credit to Hungary. And as I said, I don't think it will be easy for Germany tonight. I think Hungary will make it hard. Whether or not they concede a few goals is another question as the game gets later on. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very exciting group to watch.
Yeah, it's insane because 3 teams that have won an international trophy in the last decade and Hungary to even have a chance at this stage is ultimately impressive. I just want to go back and wonder what would have happened if they didn't take the lead against Portugal and it was disallowed. Because if only it wasn't disallowed. It's just so heartbreaking.
Would have been incredible, wouldn't it? If Hungary had got 3 points on the first game, they would have obviously gone into that match against France. Could have got that point then. We could have been sat here saying Hungary have qualified. One of the other teams is going out.
It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
I will say, Poland here, in the last 5 or so minutes, really starting to put some pressure on Sweden. Not done much with the ball. It's been a little bit disappointing, but they've had 7 corners in the first half. There's been 9 in the overall game, for those of you statisticians out there that want to know the details of the match. But they've not done much with it, and it's disappointing because they'll go into that break at half time and they'll think to themselves, unless we get a goal here before the half ends, we should have probably had a goal, one from Lewandowski, and then they should have done better with the chances that they've had in the last 10 or so minutes, because they've looked all right.
Which hasn't been said for large majorities of this tournament for Poland. But
it's the most free-flowing football I've seen them play so far. They've been allowed to have the ball, which, to be fair, obviously Sweden had large amounts of the ball in that game, and in the end Sweden got the goal, but they just haven't taken the chances yet.
I was going to say, are Sweden looking comfortable? Like, in terms of, I'm talking like, are they pushing everyone forward? Are they happy to be like, if we win this game, we've won the group. We can just sit back, keep the 1-0 and be happy with that?
Yeah, I think obviously when they look at, and they'll know who they face in the next round. I think that's the thing with the Euros, and that it's always nice to know who you're facing. But they'll look and they'll think it's absolutely imperative we finish top, because we get a very good side of the draw, and anything underneath, you're going to have a very, very tough game. So for me, I think they'll be quite happy, although saying that. Brilliant chance from Zielinski from outside the box. Olsen's made a save. We've got 3 minutes of additional time. It's going to be Poland's 8th corner of the match.
Hey!
If we could get a goal here, then
anyone who had +5 Poland corners, cash in now. Congratulations.
You have certainly made the money. It's called for a handball in the box. Not going to be given. It's way too close. I think we've had way too many calls in the Euros with so-called penalties where players been about 2 yards away from the opposition player and they're calling for handballs. But it's been a decent game. How's yours been last 5 or so minutes? Because you were saying before it's not had much in it.
No, it hasn't, even for the last 5 minutes, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, there's 4 minutes added on as well. So I do have to sit through another 4 minutes. I just think it's 2 teams that are set and they're just happy with where they are. Unfortunately for Slovakia, they're probably not happy with where they are, but they've not got enough talent to at the top end of the pitch, especially. Most of their talent is defensively. You look at Skriniar, Dubravka, they're the stars of this team. And unfortunately for them, at the top end of the pitch, Andre Duda, Robert Mach, Hamšík, just not doing anything. Look, I bet the possession stats will probably say, I'm presuming that Spain have had much more of the ball because that's what they do. So it's really difficult. I think it's going to be a long second half for Slovakia.
Yeah, I think it will be. I'll have a look at the stats and see at half-time what possession-wise it is. But we're into the last 60 seconds here of the Poland-Sweden game. Poland coming forward again. Had lots of chances. I really bloody wish they put the ball into the back of the net, because obviously, like last night, the Scotland game, it made it very exciting for that second half, knowing that the fact that it was an open game. But again, they've had a chance coming forward on the right-hand side. It was with Josh Swiak, another heavy ball, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. And I'll tell you something, we said about Zielinski not having a good game last time. He's looked much better in this game. Been making runs into the middle of the channel, been on that left-hand side, come to the right when he's needed to. He's been the liveliest of the players on the pitch, apart from that one Lewandowski chance that we had. Yeah,
as long as he's more involved, because when he's got his foot on the ball, he is a creator, he is a playmaker, he can do things, but I do feel that sometimes when he's playing in this position, he's just frozen out the game a little bit. And that's, again, in the Poland team where there's not that much pure, amazing talent. Zielinski is one of the better ones. There's a corner kick to Spain, a good ball into the box, defended well by Skriniar, who's been a rock at this tournament. Credit to him. He's been the one that's had to carry this Slovakian team as the ball's chipped in, and Dubravka won't quite deal with it properly. He's having a ton of time. It's headed back into the box, and it's in. It's 2-0, and again, it was poor from Dubravka, and Aymeric Laporte, the Frenchman, gives the Spaniards a 2-0 lead. It was a ball just kind of chipped back in after it was recycled from a corner. Dubravka came to catch it. He fumbled it. He dropped it. He's out of his goal. He's scampering back. It's chipped to the back post, and Laporte heads it back across goal, and it goes into the top corner. It's a good header, but you'll probably see the goal. Dubravka again. He's not showered himself in glory with that one.
No, ours has gone to half time, so we didn't even get to see it. I'm just going to quickly flick over and see if I can get a glimpse of it at the very least. In fact, no, I can't, because theirs has gone to an advert break as well. Lovely. But again, he's not had a good game, has he, Dubravka? 2 stinkers now, and he's looking like he's going to ruin Slovakia's hopes here of making the knockout stages. Yeah,
I think any hopes they had are now dashed, if I'm being 100% honest with you. And I said, originally I thought it was going to be a long second half for Slovakia. It may have just doubled in time. They'll feel like it's been. But I need to see that chip ball in, because maybe if he dives on the ball, he takes out the man, maybe it's a penalty. But much better from Spain. It's took them a while to arrive at the tournament. A little bit of luck on both goals, but it'll be enough to see them through. And Slovakia may just feel a little bit defeated now, and poor from them.
Yeah, very, very, very poor on a game as well where, look, there's a lot still on the line for them. It's not like they're going into this game with nothing to play for. There's something there which they could have had. And obviously, I think most people expected, Spain to be the better side, to go out there and get the win in the end. But Slovakia just letting themselves down here. And I wouldn't even say it's the rest of the team. I think Dubravka is going to have to take a lot of blame today for what's happened in the first 45. But they've got 45 minutes left to change it. I mean, it would be, barring a miracle, that Spain don't actually make it to the next round, because obviously now Slovakia would have to go and score 2 goals minimum, obviously 3 to knock Spain out. And it's looking like we're going to be seeing Spain in the next round and looking on course here to finish in second place.
Yeah, and just in case Slovakia do want to change the goalkeeper, don't go with Marek Rodak. Former Hull City legend Dusan Kukiak is on the bench. I don't think he ever played a minute for us, but big Dusan Kukiak is on the bench if they want to bring him on. But yeah, as you say, I just think this game, unfortunately, it feels finished.
Yeah, and it's going to make for a long second 45 minutes, not that for you, if there's nothing for Slovakia to do in that game. But, of course, we are at half-time of both matches. We have had goals in both the games, which is good to see. Sweden 1-0 up against Poland. First goal in that game, the first goal of the day, came after 2 minutes when there was a calamity of errors at the back, and Forsberg was able to smash the ball into the back of the net fairly comfortably. And then, of course, Spain 2-0 up against Slovakia. Of course, if you haven't seen the goal, the first one for Spain, then highly worth checking out. It's a calamity at the back from Mr. Martin Dubravka. And then, to be honest, all 3 of the goals we've had today have been calamities pretty much, because the second one was a calamity at the back as well.
Yeah, I would admit the second one had a little bit more quality. When Dubravka came to get it, Moreno did really well, dinked a beautiful ball into the box for Laporte to attack, and his floated header across the keeper nestled in the top corner really nicely. But as you say, it's one of them where the keeper comes out. If your keeper comes out, he's either got to deal with it or he just needs to stay where he is. And he got caught in 2 minds, and not a brilliant game from him. I'll give you more analysis, but I do have to just nip to the bathroom, Josh, if that's all right.
Yeah. That's all good. That's all good. Well, I'm looking at the actual games themselves. If you're wondering, obviously, Spain-Slovakia, we'll quickly talk about that one first. Stats-wise of that game, as Kieran was asking earlier, 67% possession for Spain, 33% for Slovakia. They've had 13 shots, 6 on target, Spain. Obviously, 2 goals in that match, which is very good for them indeed. Slovakia, no shots, none on target, no corners, Nothing in the game so far. Very, very poor from them. Even more poor, I kind of got a bet on them to have at least 3 corners. So right now they're killing that off, which is a real shame because my bet's actually looking quite all right. As for the other game between Sweden and Poland, the stats of that match are looking a little bit like this. Sweden with 35% possession. 1 shot, 1 on target, 1 goal. That was in the 2nd minute of the game from Forsberg. As for Poland, 6 shots, 1 on target, 65% possession. They've had their fair share in the game, but they just haven't done much with the ball. And the best chance of the game, of course, was the Lewandowski header, which was a terrible, terrible miss. I honestly don't know how he missed it in the end. It's a really, really shocking miss from the best striker in the world right now. But we will talk a little bit more about those 2 games in a second time. For the second half at the very least, which will be in about 10 to 15 minutes time. So do stick around for that. We've then got coming up later tonight, me and Rowan are going to be live with Germany, Hungary and Portugal up against France. The last games of the group stage. That's from 10 to 8. Wales versus Denmark. That's the first game of the round of 16. That's from 10 to 5. We've got Italy as well against Austria, which will be with Mr. KL. That's from 10 to 8 in 3 days' time. Pain and misery will be there to watch live with Mr. KL. So if you do want to watch him cry when Italy do put 4 or 5 past Austria, then well worth joining us for that game because it should be a very good one if you're expecting goals.
Oh, don't even. I tell you what, Denmark-Wales is going to be a classic as well. I've got to admit. And I feel like, taking everyone's bias aside, obviously we have some favourite players. Rowan's with the Czech Republic man, obviously. I feel like everyone after this tournament have got a little bit of Denmark wanting them to be successful. I don't know, like I feel like they're the not guilty pleasure. What's the word that everyone has a soft spot for?
The darlings.
I don't know. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. And I was going to say they're like the Leicester City, but that just feels like it's a Kasper Schmeichel thing.
Yeah,
they are, though. Everyone loves them now. And I do want to see him be successful. I think a Welsh person tweeted, how have we become the villains? Because no one wants them to win.
Yeah, they are the unlucky team that have got to face the side I think everybody's backing. And even then, I think if you think a few years ago, it was Wales that were the team that everybody wanted to win all those years ago when they made the semis.
Yeah, and I think that's a game. I think we'll always call it the hipster games because they've not got the world-renowned nations in them. But that one, I think, will be a very tight and very good encounter, that one. I can't say the same for the 8 o'clock game, but that's all right.
We'll have to see whether or not Italy and Austria can battle it out as tight as the Wales-Denmark game will probably be. But, we've got some pretty good games coming up over the knockout stages. We've said England's match is next Tuesday. That's the last day of action from the round of 16, so we've got to wait till the very end to find out whether they're through or not. The day after Italy-Austria is when Netherlands and Belgium are playing. Both of those games looking to be pretty high-octane matches themselves. So we've got some very good round of 16 games coming up.
What am I going to do with my life on Thursday, like the next 2 days? There's no, it feels like we've been spoiled for action, and now it just feels over. I know it's not over. Of course, we've still got the round of 16, etc., but the 3 games a day needs to just be the best for the format forever.
And apart from Copa America, if anybody's watching that, then that's on very late at night. So even then, it's a shame there's nothing in the day to watch for. Yeah,
you have to wait all that time to thingy. But it has been a good tournament, and it just feels like yesterday it started. I was saying to Ron the other day, it goes so quick.
Yeah. It does. It flies by. It's a shame because by the time you've started it, it's all done and dusted, which is a real shame indeed. But just looking at the 2 sides, we'll go through, of course, everything right now as it stands. That, of course, pretty much, I believe, just checking to make sure, will stay the same. Now, it doesn't change whatsoever because as it stands in the group with Group E, what Slovakia need to do is they would need to get a few more goals back in that match to be able to get them into it. Because right now Ukraine have scored more goals than Slovakia have. They've scored 4. Slovakia have scored 2. So what Slovakia would need to do is probably get that goal difference down first, which they would need to get 2 goals minimum in that game against Spain. No pressure. But as now, it stays like that, Ukraine will still be going through. Finland obviously can't make it through now anymore. They're out, which is a shame for them. And as for Portugal, of course, they might not even need the third place position tonight because of other results potentially elsewhere. So
they need to capitulate to not go through Portugal at this point. So it might be one of them. I hope it doesn't detract from the game tonight. I hope it doesn't play into the player's mind because, you've still got different opponents depending on where you finish, of course. But hopefully it's not played at a tempo with two teams that know they're through because that can just, it's not what we want to see.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. And as Peter has said in the chat, Slovakia just need to go for it. And I think you're going to see a very different side in the second half. No fear at the end of the day. It doesn't matter in terms, well, it does matter to how many Spain score, but if they can get a goal back first 10 or 15 minutes, Ukraine will be watching on and they'll be hoping that they don't get anything from that game because it could boot them out of the top 4 spots.
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, though, as much as we say they can go for it, and they can, sometimes do they have the players capable of taking the game to Spain? And sometimes spirit does a lot, and they do have an unbreakable team spirit sometimes. But in terms of quality, I just don't think they'll have enough in this second half. I could see another goal in it for Spain, but I think it'll be a lot of safe possession in the middle of the park. What about your second half, Josh?
Well, for my second half, we know obviously Sweden right now, as it stands with their game, they're going through top of the group, which is exactly what they want because they'll be coming up against, very likely to be, the Czech Republic, which would be a very interesting game. But I think Poland probably need to go out there and do something as well. Bottom of the group still could go through. Obviously, with a win, that would put them through to the next round. And Sweden are through anyway, so there's not as much pressure on them to go out there and get a result, but they'll want to finish top. And I think they looked all right, as I said, Poland. They had a good 10 or 15 minute spell at the end of the first half where, had they got a little bit more class up front, we could have easily been sat here saying we could have been in half time potentially with Poland in the lead. We had that Lewandowski chance early on, which could have set the tone for a very different match. But again, like Slovakia, just go out there with no fear, push Sweden because, again, they don't have to do anything. They're not expecting to push up the pitch and push numbers forward. And I think that will allow Poland a fair few more opportunities in that second half where they can take players on. And I mean, when you look at the bench as well, they've got not many amazing players to bring off the bench. But we said before in the game with Spain, someone like Plaqueta could come on with a bit of pace, make the difference. Linetti as well in the midfield. He's already scored. I think they will make changes probably early on in the second half, but got there with no fear. Why not?
Yeah, that's, I think, what they've got to take from it is, for them, is there anything to lose? They have to win. They can't settle for a point like some teams can. So it is really everything on the line for them. I think Sweden will win, but we'll have to see a big second half from their big game players. And you said in the first half, Lewandowski, if they had someone to put away the chance, you'd expect it to have been Lewandowski. And unfortunately, he didn't have it. For the first time in however long, he's not had the quality.
No, which is mad. I think you could sit there and you could watch that opportunity on repeat over and over again because it was an absolute sitter that, even he knows in the back of his head he should have well and truly had that in the back of the net. But before we do get back to the second half, because they will be starting up very, very shortly, if you want to check out our social media, see when we go live, then as we said before, links in the description and chat as always. You can check out our Twitter, which is @the_top corner, and our Instagram, which is _sports corner_. Do go check those out if you haven't already. Would be greatly, greatly appreciated if you do so. And obviously, the link, as I said, is in the chat with Carl, as he always does, the absolute legend. As we'll be getting ready for the second half very, very shortly. What's your predictions? Do you think Slovakia can come out there and... I don't necessarily think they can win it or anything, but can they give Spain a good test for 45 minutes?
I do want to say yes, and from a selfish point of view, because I want a good game, but also I would like to see them to even trouble Spain to the point of creating an opportunity, but I think it will just be a simple second half for the Spaniards. We've seen what they can do in terms of dominating games, and that is even more. That can be helped even more when you're in the lead because you don't need to push for a goal or anything like that. So yeah, I think it will just be. I'll say 3-0 in the end to Spain. Slovakia may have a couple of opportunities, but I don't see it myself. What do you think?
I think they might have one or two opportunities, Slovakia, but they're going to have to take them if they want to get something in the game. I think, as Peter said, just go for it in the second half. Don't show any fear. It doesn't matter if Spain score because you're losing anyway. Just give it a good go and not necessarily push numbers forward early on, but just play without any fear because you never know. This Spain side, they can be got at, and we've seen teams get at them. We saw Sweden was the best example of a side that really took it to him at points and could have easily had one or two goals in that game. And I think it's probably one of those where I look at it and I think that they're not going to get back into it, but get a goal early on, and there will be questions raised on whether Spain can hold on.
Yeah, I think you're right, and unfortunately for Slovakia, defensively, Spain haven't really looked rocky at any points. I think, in the game against Sweden, they kept a clean sheet. It took, one Lewandowski header to break them down in the second game, but I think they'll just comfortably see this one. I've just seen that header chance, by the way. That is unbelievably bad from Robert Lewandowski. I'm wondering if the fact he's got Josviak on his back might distract him a little bit, but he's got to score from there. He can't miss that.
Yeah, I think it's the only thing you can say that makes it actually look decent enough to not be an absolute sitter.
Yeah, it is a sitter.
Terrible.
I'm trying to find defense, but he's got to score that. He has to.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't. And it's the way that he'd gone, obviously, and kind of lifted the ball up with his head. All you got to do is literally head the ball down. It's going to hit the floor and go in. There's no keeper there in that situation. He's on the floor. He's already dived for the first header. You've had pretty much a free goal, and a player of his qualities missed it.
And we saw so many times during the Bundesliga season, he's usually clinical. He doesn't have to be that close usually. No. Being that close for him is a luxury, but it's poor from him. And if he had that chance back, I'm sure he'd finish it off.
Oh, 100%. And no doubt he'll probably get a chance in this second half, and we'll see whether or not they're able to take it. As Peter said in the chat, he's looking for an early goal from Sweden to bury Poland. Peter, I don't know if you said it in the chat earlier. There we go. He did put his bets in because I was wondering if he got any bets on today. Earlier on in the stream, he put, the way I read this game is Sweden will be too strong in defence and set pieces. He put them on a win of 175 quid. We've had another long-range effort taken on from Zielinski. Another save from Olsen. This time it's straight down the middle of the goal, so it's a pretty simple save for the Roma keeper. But so far, so good for Sweden, and it's looking like you're on course for another decent little payout, Peter, if it stays the way it does.
Yeah, and that'd be nice, wouldn't it? And by the way, it's Duris and Lobotka are coming on.
It's quite surprising, isn't it? A player like Lobotka's just sat on the bench for Slovakia because, I think he's another player that can bring a bit of quality into the midfield.
Yeah, it is. Look, we don't know as much as the managers are. I'm still appalled Laszlo Benes doesn't get much, So I'm still recovering, Josh, that he's not played any features in this tournament, but oh well.
Who knows? If they can make it through somehow, Slovakia, maybe there's a chance that he starts the game, whoever they face in the next round. But
no, good effort though.
Probably not.
But oh well, we'll have to see what them changes can do in the second half. I can't imagine much, but an early goal put Spain on the back foot. You never know.
You never know. We'll have to see. We had an early goal, of course, in this game between Sweden and Poland. Maybe we can have an early goal in the game between Slovakia and Spain as Poland have got the ball back again and pretty much starting off where they began. The end of the first half. It's a lot of players forward. There's about 5 or 6 forwards. Zielinski with another long-range effort. This time it's deflected. And that will now be the 9th corner of the game for Poland and probably the 7th that Zielinski's got from a long-range effort, and it's a little bit closer towards goal. It's just on the line, takes on the effort from outside the box, but they keep trying to test Olsen.
Yeah.
And they're just not working so far as the corner's lobbed in. And in the end, it's actually going to go out of play for a goal kick. So, again, another waste of a chance for Poland. But they're knocking on the door, just not well enough.
Yeah. By the way, can confirm the second player to come off alongside Andre Duda was Hamoda, who gave away the penalty. And yeah, well, you know, he's in the midfield over Lobotka. Is he better than Lobotka? No, not in my eyes. Lobotka doesn't give away that penalty. But we'll have to see if it makes any sort of difference, to be honest with you.
Here's Isaac inside the box for Sweden. Takes on the shot, comes back to Forsberg, rebounded and out of play for a corner. And that was the chance for Poland to potentially go 2-0 down. And it was a really, really good effort from Sweden. Big break from him. First real chance of the game. It's a simple save for Szczesny, and Forsberg in the end is desperately trying to get that attempt on goal while Szczesny's on the floor. It bounces off the ground and it hits, I think, Vestergaard. Bednarek, not Vestergaard. He plays for Denmark. Bednarek who gets it in the end. And corner's taken by Sweden. And it goes out of play in the end for a goal kick. But again, knocking on the door. It's what you want to see.
Yeah, to be fair to you, Josh, they play for the same team. You know?
They're both similar centre-backs. They're both quite tall and lanky players. Yeah,
exactly. As long as, you know, you're not saying like Ryan Bertrand or anything, because, you know, he's
no.
You're all right. You're all right. But two of the same mould, my friend. Two of the same mould.
Peter has put in the chat as well. I know he was saying earlier about the game between Portugal and France. He says he expects it to finish in a draw. I might put a few extra quid on it. Nobody will want to win that game. They will both want 1 point, which is interesting. Will they look at it in that way?
I hope not. As I say, I hope not. I don't want to see teams settle for a point. I think they'll both expect Germany to win. So hopefully that means for them too that they want to get the win as well to put themselves in a better position and not have to wait till third like some teams. So I could see it being a draw. I think it will be, but I'd rather them go out and try and win the game, because if Germany were to win, France could stop. If France lost, Portugal and Germany would both have 6 points if they both won, wouldn't they?
I think so. I think it would.
So maybe that'll be what motivates them then to finish top of the group. You want to try and finish top.
And I think as well, let's not forget that the team that finishes in third is going to have either Netherlands or Belgium. You don't want to face either of those two as well, because that is a tough match within itself. But we had another opportunity from outside the box again as the ball was lobbed in. And then there's a call for a penalty. And Michael Oliver's not giving it. He's giving a free kick to Sweden instead. But the original chance earlier I was talking about, we had a change at half time. It was Frankowski who came on, took on a decent effort from outside the box again. But there was, as I said, a call for a penalty. It was Lewandowski and Danielson who were both up against each other. And in the end, I think it's the right decision from Oliver to give it as a free kick. But they are testing here. That's like the 5th or 6th chance they've had from outside the box. And Olsen is a busy man right now.
And I was going to say, to be fair, as much as we slander Oliver when he's working in the Premier League, every referee at this Euros has had a good tournament. Besides that one that gave Lukaku as offside, he can bore off. The rest, though, completely fine.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that decision in the end. There's another chance here, and again, Poland. Jozwiak is inside the box on the right wing, and he flicks the ball towards the near post, and I think Lewandowski wanted the ball a little bit earlier. And yeah, you can see his reaction. He's not happy with that. He wanted the ball earlier inside the box, the near post, and again, Poland. How many chances are they going to have in this game before they take one?
Yeah, who did Frankowski come on for? Who got replaced?
It was Pukas who came off on the left-hand side.
Oh yeah, Do you think change the system, or is he going to take his left wing back role / left mid / left back, whatever it was?
I think with the way it's looking, it isn't a change of system. I just think they probably know with the way that the last kind of 10 minutes that first half went, that the two wide midfielders are probably going to be playing similar roles to what PVA and Dumfries do, where they're not actually defending. They're probably just playing as left wings and right wings for most of the match. And so far, obviously, as I said, Sweden have not done anything. They've had that one chance from Forsberg in the second half, and that's about it. They're happy to sit back and let Poland have the chances.
Yeah, which, as we said, we kind of questioned in the first half, would that be the approach they take? Because of the fact that they are sitting top, they can't be knocked off top, or I don't think they can be anyway. I don't know if it depends on goal difference, but no, they can't. I don't think. Can they? No, they can't be knocked off top, can they?
I don't think they can. I think unless Spain's goal difference was to increase a little bit more, then I don't think they can.
Especially not when they're winning. And I don't even know if, so that it's a bit like later on today. You kind of hope Sweden don't play at this pedestrian defensive style, but they've been very solid throughout the tournament and not conceded any goals, actually. I was going to say not many goals. They've not conceded any goals.
None. Exactly. We had a change, by the way. Sweden taking off Kajson and Kulusevski's come on, which is good to see, of course. Kulusevski, a player who's been out with COVID, been trying to get himself fit for the tournament. He's back in the side and probably the player of the future for Sweden, alongside Isaac.
Yeah, what would you say about Robin Kajson's performance? Came in for Marcus Berg, obviously. Marcus Berg, who I think has had a bad tournament, it's fair to say. Your thoughts on his performance as a replacement?
Not too bad. I think you've got to look and say Sweden have only had two chances, and one of them turned out to be a goal. And it was part of the effort, which Forsberg took on in the second half. And obviously, Sweden quite happy to sit back. So I think he did the work he needed to. Although there's going to be a chance here, Sweden coming forward, also with a long range effort, blocked in the end, so it's not going to reach the keeper. And I guess Kulusevski brings a bit of extra flair and tenacity, which Sweden might need here, because the second goal would kill this game off, I think.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Daz has asked, is Larsson on the bench? If you mean Seb Larsson, no, he's on the pitch, my friend. He's in the team. He's the captain, and there is no way they'd be playing him on the bench today. He's in. Oh, it was a tight angle for him. Well, somehow he's got a corner in the end. Really good work from him. Takes the shot on it, deflects off the path of Bednarek, and he's going to get a corner for his troubles. And
that is, it was a terrible crossfield pass, and more importantly, he is a former Hull City legend, so
got to squeeze it in there.
Yeah, we've got a few people at the tournament. We also have a few people not in the tournament. Am I right, Scotland? Am I right? I watched that game yesterday. I watched that game. I think it was a lot better than the England game. I mean, 100%.
Very entertaining game. I think it was perfectly poised when the McGregor goal went in. I thought that goal was fantastic. The way he took the ball down and then hit it. It was a brilliant goal for Scotland. And I think it was a shame it wasn't tightly contested for most of it. We got the second goal and then Croatia took the match away from them. And you can see the gulf in class between Croatia and Scotland. They're a long way away from being the top side Scotland, but they've got potential.
And it's nice to see Croatia finally arrive at the Euros. It's took them a couple match days, but I tell you what, you talk about brilliant finishes. Luka bloody Modric,
Beautiful.
When he needs to carry his team sometimes, and a finish like that, just absolutely magical from him.
I think more than anything, he's not carrying his team. He's getting himself down for the goal of the tournament contender, because he's always bloody on it every tournament.
And it's 3. It's 3-0. And it's definitely over now. Koke, the ball is whipped in low across the box. All he has to do is kind of pass the ball into the bottom corner, and he does. It's 3-0. It's Koke. And I thought the game was done at half-time, Josh. It's most certainly done now.
Forsberg, 2-0. Game over here as well.
Yeah, there we go.
And Forsberg gets the goal that will surely seal the deal for Sweden at the top of the group as well. And we said it earlier, they have had so many chances in this game to put the ball into the back of the net, and they haven't taken them. And Sweden have been so patient, so organised in this game, have been cool, calm, and collective. And all of a sudden, Kulusevski, the man who was brought onto the pitch, has changed the game up. Lovely assist, and Forsberg gets his second of the game. And he has been exceptional in this tournament. I'll be honest with you, Forsberg. I think he's been a really, really brilliant player for him.
He has indeed. Now, I do want to clarify, it wasn't Koke, sorry, it was Sarabia with his left foot who kind of passed it into the bottom corner from a Jordi Alba cross. Unfortunately, it does kind of mean these games are relatively over now, which is a shame. Like, we have still got 35 minutes left.
Yeah, it does, unfortunately. I mean, the assist from Kulusevski was brilliant, but well, we've got half an hour to kill now before these games are done.
How important do you think he'll be in the knockout, to have him back now for the knockout stages?
Very critical, very critical. He's one of those players where I think if you look at the bench and the team, he's the one player who can really get at defences and take on a man, and he did exactly that for the goal. He went round, I think, 3 defenders in the end to get the ball towards Forsberg at the edge of the box, but he's got that flair and skill about him. I really like him as a player. I think he's a big star for Sweden, but there's a chance here again because Isaac's through on goal. He's going on his own. He gets round one Polish defender. He's got nobody near him. He's going to have to play it into Forsberg. Still a chance, though. They're inside the box. Augustinson's giving the ball away. There might be a chance here for Poland to counter-attack, and there will be, because Lewandowski's through now. Forced to the left wing. Gonna have to go alone. On! And he does! And what a finish it is from Lewandowski! It's
there we go!
Perler! And literally, as he literally couldn't put the ball in the back of the net from about 25 yards out, that is a world-class finish from Lewandowski. 2-1, game on.
It's game on. That's what we needed. That's exactly what we needed in your game.
Oh, it's beautiful. And we literally had the chance from Isaac a moment ago. And Isaac is a very good player, but what makes the difference between him becoming a world-class player is taking on a chance on your own and not waiting for your players to come forward. And it was Lewandowski on the left wing. It looked like he was going to wait for his players to push forward. And he just went, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And he does in the end. What? And now Poland are back in it, but Sweden might be in again here. Kulusevski. Good defending at the back from Bednarek. Brilliant.
I've just seen the Sweden goal, which is a very nice curled low finish from Emil Forsberg. Now I'm waiting to see the Lewandowski goal, which will be on my screen hopefully momentarily, because it wasn't long when it was 2-0 to 2-1.
Brilliant. It's going to bring this game to life now, you feel, because Poland will have a bit more desire. And again, it just came out of nothing. Absolutely nothing. And as Kyle's put in the chat, so Lewandowski can score a screamer, but not a simple header. What a player. He's just an incredible player.
It's what I said at half time. It was a luxury for him to be that close to goal in the first half. He prefers it. Maybe he prefers it a little bit further away. But no.
Poland doing it again. Ball's lobbed into the box. Comes towards Lewandowski, not this time.
We said, didn't we? You know, he can miss one chance. You can't give him 2 because he will put the one away. And I'm really waiting. Yes, here we go. The Lewandowski goal is coming up on my screen now as a picture-in-picture. Oh, and that is magical. Oh, he really does pick it up on the left and just bend it into the far corner, doesn't it? Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And you think in that situation, he's not going to go for it, but he takes it on, and that is a world-class forward. And he's just brought this game to life. And more importantly, he's brought the Polish fans to life because they were pretty silent for most of this game.
Do you know what the thing is, Josh? It's like, for me with Lewandowski, when he gets it there, we've talked about him, and, you know, when he counters, he lacks pace. And there, it was quite a prime example. He wasn't going to pick it up and keep running. He had to make do with what he had, which is an unbelievable right foot. And that's a magical finish. And your game is now back in life.
Just what we want to see, because we thought we were going to have 2 games with half an hour left where we were kind of just going to be sat here talking about life in general. But Poland coming forward again. Ball lobbed in, blocked by Forsberg, not going to come to anything. And you can see Poland are pushing players forward now. There are 3 players back and that's it. But Sweden have got 5 players forward. So all they're trying to do is hope that when the ball does come to them, just lob it long and hit it towards their forwards as Krychowiak goes for a long-range effort. Blocked again. Ball lobbed into the box. No one's there. Into the hands of Olsen. And a chance to breathe.
Yeah, I kind of just want to turn your game on, to be honest.
Stick it on.
It's kind of just bored. I just want to watch your game. No, it was one of them where Spain have had a job that they needed to do today. They've done it. Poland looked for a bit like they were dead and buried, but hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not, because the game plan now, it looks so open for this to have a few more goals in it, if I'm being honest with you. It just depends whether they go Poland or Sweden's way, because Poland coming forward again, it's Lewandowski. He's going on his own. Lovely ball onto the right-hand side. Chance at goal, not taken, and it's a waste. And it's another one of the substitutes that's just come onto the pitch. He's been on for about 30 seconds. It was Sierczok who'd been on the pitch. Didn't take the effort on, but they've got a chance again here. Frankowski! And he's in! And Poland offside!
Oh!
It was the substitute, Sierczok. I don't think he knew much about it, but it's offside. And so unlucky, because I thought Poland there were going to have the equaliser, and seeing it now, yeah, right decision. I think it's a tight one, but it's the right one. And Poland aren't going to have it 2-2, unfortunately.
No, it's a hell of a game as well, that one now.
Very entertaining game. It's going to get checked by VAR, as you'd expect to see whether it's offside. It was marginal, but I think it was the right decision. But what a game it's turning into. Love to see it.
Do you need me, Josh? Can I take the day off?
Join us.
I'll keep it covered on here. If I nod off, let me know.
The dream scenario for you would have been if Slovakia had done something similar to this.
Yeah. The thing is, it's not a bad game in terms of, I've had 3 goals. I really can't complain, but there's no meaning behind it, which is a shame.
Well, sad news. The goal will not count. Check over, as expected. Goal given as offside in the end, but there's enough time for him to keep pushing. 25 minutes is a long time in football.
Yeah.
With the way they've been playing, they've had so many chances that you do feel like they could get a second in this game, and they probably should have had it a moment ago.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think they could have had more goals in the game, but I think it maybe that 2-0 may have just been the real wake-up call, and I do think that immediate reaction was the perfect thing for Poland. And
100%.
Of course, it's Lewandowski, because sometimes he really does have to drag this team kicking and screaming into contention.
And I think as well, you can say on the other hand, it's a bit of a wake-up call for Sweden that they can't sit back and allow Poland to come forward, because it's a good 2 or 3 chances they've had now, not including the ones from outside the box where Olsen has been tested. There's a chance here again. Ball played towards Lewandowski, touch a bit too heavy in the end, did it? Because I had a play for a goal kick. But Kyle saying in the chat, where was this Poland against Spain and Slovakia? Don't know, they've just turned up now.
Well, this is they do have occasions where they really do blow hot and cold like that. I remember the Slovakia game, second half up until the red card, they were really good. The Spain game, they had that moment in the second half where Lewandowski headed home, and for the 5 or so minutes of that period, they were really good. But then for long periods, they're just not in the game at all. It's weird. It's a really weird team.
Is indeed. It's a strange one. As Sweden are going to make 2 changes. Isak comes off, obviously resting him up for the next stage of the competition, and Berg comes on. And then we've also had Lustig come off for Emil Kraf, as this is still 2-1, of course.
Yeah. We've just had Morata leave the fray for Ferran Torres.
He's a player that I think is one to watch in this tournament. I think he's one of those players for Spain that can be a difference maker, potentially.
Ferran Torres?
Yeah, because the amount of times, I think before when they played the friendlies in that, he looks very lively.
Yeah, I think he is. It's just unfortunate he doesn't really it's a bit like Man City at the moment. He just doesn't get as much game time as he would like. It's 4-0. It's
Oh wow!
It's Ferran Torres. He's just
Wait, is he
come
actually
on.
scored?
Yeah, he's literally just come on. There you go.
There we go.
Lads, he's wants to watch in this tournament, I think. No,
About
it's
the man and he scores.
yeah, it was a ball drilled on the right hand side. It's another low cross which Slovakia have struggled with all game long, and Ferran Torres, I'm pretty sure, just has to help it into the net, poke it home, and it's 4-0.
Simple finish for him. That just seeing it on ours now.
Yeah, not much else to say. I think it was Sarabia who got the assist, who's had a brilliant game. He's onside. Oh, it's a lovely flick. It's Ronaldo against Hungary in 2016. Lovely flick from Ferran Torres, and it's pure quality. Sarabia today has been brilliant as well. And 4-0 to Spain. Another goal, and poor Slovakia are just getting ripped apart. Yeah.
Oh, Forsberg nearly getting a hat trick with a long range effort in this game. Close. Got a corner for Sweden in the end. A little bit too far away from the near post. But you talk about the man in bags, you love to see it.
Yeah.
Ferran Torres.
Yeah, let's have a quick 5-minute conversation about Laszlo Benes. He's great, isn't he? Can we have him?
Get him on the pitch.
No. I think it's over, Josh. The dream's over.
No, I think it is, sadly. I think it is. Sweden with a corner. Ball lobbed in. Comes to the edge of the box. And, well, I think all of our dreams were put into Olsen's long-range effort then, but it was blocked. And I thought we were going to have at least a chance of a volley from outside the box. But 20 minutes left here. Still 2-1. Poland needing 2 goals to go through. Sweden through already. And I wonder if they've heard the news throughout the game that Slovakia have been absolutely battered. And that will give them the confidence to go out there and get themselves potentially the 2 goals that they need, because obviously that, again, is another game that they want to know what the score is, no doubt.
Yeah, well, there's 2 changes. Vladimir Weiss is on for Robert Mack. And
Bennett is on?
No. Shuslov is on for Harashlin. So 1 change left for Slovakia. My hopes of a cameo are dwindling, but you never know.
Keep believing. He might be the one man that comes on with about 10 minutes left. You never know. Could get the Sancho cameo like Rowan got last night.
Don't get me started on that. We haven't spoke about England, but we won, and that's all that matters.
No, and to be fair, I'm quite lucky I didn't have to watch the game in the end. I think I'm very appreciative I didn't have to watch any of it. So,
yeah, we were dogging that. Well, no, it's one of them. We've done what we've done most of the group stage. We've navigated the group stage fantastically. We've won, and we've not lost. We've not conceded a goal, but it isn't fun to watch at all.
No, definitely not. And I'm just seeing the offside call that they gave for the goal earlier. It is really, really tight. The lines are nearly touching each other from the offside call and the actual blue line of the defender that was keeping him onside. And unlucky for Poland, but they're all happy in St. Petersburg. They're all happy with how they've played, and they'll be even happier if they can get another goal or 2.
Yeah, and at the moment, the thing is, it's enough at the moment, but there's still 20 minutes. I wouldn't count Poland out of it.
No, they've just brought on another player. We had a drinks break as well as Klicks come off. Kozlowski's come on, so another attacker as they just obviously try and get themselves as many attackers on the pitch as possible. But yeah, I think they played well today, Poland. It's just a shame that obviously with 18 minutes left, it might be a little bit too late for them to turn up to the tournament.
Yeah, I agree. As Thiago is on for Busquets, what a return to him for a return to the starting 11 with a comfortable victory. It looks like and also Pau Torres. And I was too busy talking about bloody Busquets. I didn't see who came off for Pau Torres. Oh, it won't matter. It's 5-0. It's 5-0.
5-0.
It's Pau Torres.
Super subs for Spain.
I don't believe it. So it was a set piece when they made the changes.
Yeah.
And then the ball gets whipped in. It's headed towards goal. I've got to admit, I think Dubravka makes a really good save. And I actually think this is an own goal, if I'm being 100% honest. But I'm just waiting for the replay. I can't believe Pau Torres has just come on. You literally speak about a sub in this game, and they make a difference. So, yeah, the ball's whipped in. It's a crazy half volley from Thiago, which is then nodded towards goal by Torres. Save. What happened?
It now.
What is happening? I swear that's an
gets a great touch on the ball, doesn't he?
Oh, and I think Vladimir Weiss has put it in his own net. He has. He's gone to kick it clear, and he's kicked it in his own net. It's a real horror show from Slovakia, this. And it's 5-0. And we talk about one super sub coming on, and it was Pau Torres who headed it towards Dubravka when he made the save. But that, for me, is for certain an own goal by Vladimir Weiss, who's only just come onto the field himself. Oh, no. I am confirmed. Jan Kuchka.
Kuchka, yeah. Unlucky. Not the way you want to end the Euros, is it? With a 5-0 battering.
It's just the fact that I felt for a minute I thought that every sub we mentioned would just randomly come on and score a goal.
Maybe that's the tactic for Spain. Just keep putting players on the pitch and they'll score after 30 seconds. Or at least have a chance.
Well, yeah, it is. And I don't mean to be harsh, but against this Slovakia team, the way they're playing at the moment, I could see it. I said at half-time 3-0, but God, they've really politely been put to the sword in this second half.
Yeah, they have been. As Louis in the building put, hello lads, how are we? Just drinking to Rashika, the baller. What signing that is.
Great signing. It is an absolutely brilliant signing.
Bargained as well for 9 million quid, as Peter put in the chat. 5-0 Spain. Keeper's had the worst game of his life. I think Spain could score 7, and I probably think they will score 7.
Right. I feel bad for Dubravka on that circumstance specifically, because he made a really good save. But then, then Jan Kuchka just kicked it in his oh dear. It's been, it's been a 5-0, but I feel the worst part is that I feel a little bit bad at this. I feel a bit sorry for him at this point.
Unlucky for him, as Sean did ask in the chat. How many subs have Spain got left, Kieran? If you know, if one, then why not sub their goalkeeper off for a bit of a laugh like Italy did with Donnarumma? Yeah,
I think they might have one left. As Eric Garcia was the one who was subbed off for Pau Torres in the end. But they are. It's not the goalkeeper, though. It's Mikel Oyarzabal.
So they're just even adding more fuel to the fire with another attacker.
Yeah, let's bring on another substitute. Maybe Pablo Sarabia or Gerard Moreno gets replaced. 2 players who've had a good game today. So who's not had a good game for this Spain team?
So I think they've all played very well today. As Forsberg's come off the pitch. Good performance from him today. Brilliant performance. And Victor Claesson comes onto the pitch for the last 13 minutes. And this game's died down a little bit. Not really been any chances for Poland since we spoke of the offside goal. But 13 minutes left. They need to do something fast here.
Well, Spain, they don't have one left because Oyarzabal and Traore are ready. So let's bring on another attacker. Let's bring on Traore.
I know he'll up his arms, no doubt, before he comes on.
Yeah, well, to be honest, mate, I don't think he needs to against this Slovakian team the way they're playing today. But Spain have it on the left. It's good defending. I do feel bad for Slovakia because they put together a decent tournament as well.
And it's all just been dismantled by a team that couldn't score, and now they've scored 5. How unlucky.
Yeah, it genuinely is as well. They couldn't score for love nor money. So all the goals that they should have scored in the previous matches decided to wait till this match, and they've all come at once.
And they've made up for it as Plaqueta's come onto the pitch as well for Poland. He's come on for Krychowiak. So again, another attacker on for Poland. That's probably, I think, 6 or 7 they've got on the pitch right now to try and get a goal. And they might have a chance here. And it could be an opportunity. Oh, it's so unlucky. It's good defending from Danielson. And in the end, it was Danielson who kept close towards the path of, I think it was Sierjok. And the centre-back just gets a slight touch of the ball that takes it away. And I thought for a second there we were maybe going to have a chance for Poland to get the second goal. As Peter's asked in the chat, do you think the Slovaks could maybe still get a draw? Get 5 of them back, maybe?
Believe it or not, no. And when you asked me, I know we try and always say a little bit positive, Peter, but even at half-time when it was like, oh, no, actually, no. Was this from you when you said 1-1 at the start? Maybe it was he? I don't know.
I said 1-1 for my prediction.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember. There's been 5 goals.
I know Rowan saying yesterday, I think when Croatia were 3-1 up, I know Rowan said yesterday, well, there might be a chance Scotland can get 3 back and win the match. So we've always tried to be positive.
No, not all of us, Josh. Some of us, you know, we're not that positive.
Yeah, I did say straight away, there's no chance that's happening. It's all done and dusted. Can pack up the bags and go.
Yeah, we love Rowan, but sometimes I don't want to watch football with him. It's like when we lose and he came to me and went, at least you scored a goal. That's not how football works, my friend. It's really not how football works.
Oh.
But I do like the positivity. I do appreciate it.
We like it. And when Hungary are winning 5-0 tonight against Germany, I hope that positivity comes out again, Rowan, if you're in the building, because you're going to need it, as we've got a corner here for Poland. Now starting to put a bit of pressure on with the substitutes. Can they get an opportunity on goal here? Ball lobbed into the box. It's not cleared away properly, and it's a terrible effort in the end from Placheta, who's just absolutely whacked the ball and just put more power on the ball, and eventually it's nowhere near a goal. It's out, and another chance for Poland that goes wide of the mark.
Just a speed demon, isn't he? That's all he is. Just a speed demon.
He is. But
he's still a very young player, so he's gonna. I'm sure he'll get better as time progresses. But I don't know if is he still at Norwich? I presume he is. I don't know if he played much, but
I think he's still there. Whether he gets much game time or not, I don't know. But I mean, it's not bad to be at a Premier League side to get some experience as a footballer.
No, I don't. I can't imagine he played much during the Championship campaign. But unfortunately, we weren't in the Championship this year. So.
And Louis will know more. Louis, you'll know if you're in the chat. You'll know more than us on how much Plaqueta's kind of played.
I don't think he played much. I feel like he was a bit part player last year, and I'd like him to go out on loan. But Louis, you can come in and tell me I'm completely wrong if you'd like. Do you know what? I'm going to find out. You know what? Why not? I'm watching a 5-0. The game's finished. Let's find out how Plaqueta played last season.
See, as Poland, again, another chance to come forward, heavy ball, just not making the most of the opportunities. It would have been so interesting if Poland had got something here. I know there's still 9 minutes left, but if they were to make it 2-2, then you are looking at it and thinking it is a shootout pretty much in the last 10 minutes for who goes through in terms of the third place position. Of course, right now it's no one who's going through in this group, which will obviously change, I think, might slightly change how things look on who faces who in the next round of the tournament. But we'll have a look at that, of course, when the game does finish, because if Poland do go through, then it'll make things very interesting if they were to win this game.
Yeah, time is now doing. I know we said when 20 minutes was left, there's still plenty of time, but we are creeping towards the last 10 at this point. And from what you're telling me, it doesn't seem really like Poland have took that momentum since the offside goal, which is unfortunate. But
yeah, it's a shame because it looked like the game had got potential to be very end to end, and it was going to be maybe a case of a few more goals. But since that Poland offside, it's maybe just killed the vibe off a little bit for Poland. And Sweden, again, not done much in attack, but they're happy they're going through anyway, and set up for a nice tie against the Czechs, I think it's looking like.
Yeah, should be an interesting one, as Adama is freed down the right and he plays a lovely ball, and it's just over everyone, unfortunately. I will let you know, we have done some Plaqueta research. He played 2 games in the FA Cup, one assist. It's a good return, that. And in the Championship, 26. I don't know if that's 26 starts or 26 appearances, but either way, that is still just over half. So I think I'm right with a bit of a bit part player. Yeah.
Part player.
Depends. I think maybe they've loaned him out this season, possibly.
Oh, Lewandowski! Oh, it's in! It's 2-2! And Lewandowski's done it! And it's Frankowski magic. It's brilliant from the full-back. And he literally just dinks a ball into the box. Lewandowski is unmarked. Nobody near him. He takes a touch. He puts it in the bottom left-hand corner. We have a game on our hands. It's 2-2. Poland need one more to go through to the next round. And again, both centre-backs more than anything. They were marking him, but they've both gone straight to the opposition player. I think it was, just trying to see who was in the box, who they've gone towards. One of the Polish players, anyway, they've gone towards. They both obviously switched off, not seen Lewandowski. Takes a touch. Bottom left-hand corner, 2-2. 1 goal needed for Poland.
And, by the way, Rowan will be buzzing because he's got him captained in fantasy. He will be absolutely buzzing with the performance from Lewandowski today. But, well, what a grandstand finish. Because at the moment, Spain top?
So as it stands and how the group's looking now, with the way that everything is going, it means that Spain now go top of the group.
Yeah.
Sweden will go to second, but Sweden are in here, and they might be able to change that. Ball lob towards Berg, doesn't get towards him, and it's cleared away in the end. But Spain will go top, Sweden second. Poland, obviously, 1 goal away from going into third and knocking Ukraine out of the tournament.
That's an unbelievable comeback from Poland as well.
I've got a feeling it's going to bag a hat-trick. I really do.
That'd be unbelievable.
And they're coming forward again. Zielinski. Berzinski, ball onto the right-hand side with Strzejok. Lobbed into the box. Comes to the edge of the box. Bobbling ball, and so nearly went into the hands of Olsen, which he does actually get it in the end. Nervous claim from him, because it was a bouncing one.
I'm just seeing that goal, and you're right. He just kind of peels off the 2 defenders who get dragged towards the other player in the box, and he's just, as you say, free as a bird. Just takes the ball down and caresses it into the corner. And believe it or not, if things say that, I don't think Sweden are catching Spain's new goal difference of +6, I think it now is, or +5. Oh dear.
So it is plus. Let's have a look. Let's do the research. Bang. So it's 5 that they've got on the board right now.
Well done, Spain.
Spain looking very comfortable for the top spot, which is very good for them. They'll be happy with that, that's for sure. As Poland now desperately trying to push everyone forward. As it stands with the group, obviously we'll talk about it a little bit more soon, but it would be Spain who would be facing either third in groups B, C, or D, which as it stands, I need to get the groups up again because I'm pretty sure that completely changes everything up. Table. Group B's not making it through. Group C's not making it through. So it would be Spain against Czech Republic now, as it stands, which is a shame for the Czechs. They'll be gutted with that if that does happen because Sweden was looking better.
Well, to be fair, I think we've seen teams call Spain's I know it's not Slovakia today, of course, but Czech Republic, not a bad game. Rowan will want it. Rowan's got to take that.
I think, the fact that you get to play against Spain is still a good thing because I don't think Czechs would have expected to go far in this competition, to be honest with you. But there's a chance here for Poland. A little bit heavy with the ball, but Lewandowski's got it. He's got a man in the box as well. He could play it towards. Lobs it towards the path of Skorupski. Doesn't get the touch in the end. And again, another chance that goes wide of the mark. Poland got the ball back, though. Cleared away by Sweden. Throwing for them. And the pressure just continues to build. And it's going to be Berzinski on the right wing. Really heavy cross. Finds Lewandowski on the left wing. Plays it to the edge of the box. Frankowski. Good work from Seb Larsson, who gets the ball back for Sweden, although it's given it away instantly. And Poland have got it back again. Going to be Frankowski again, who got the assist for the goal. And a bloody good assist it was. Lewandowski Oh, brilliant cross into the box. It's still in play on the right wing. Ball lobbed back in. Comes towards Lewandowski at the near post. And this time he just can't get it. And it's a save for Olsen. And again, Poland looking dangerous. Trying to get that winning goal in the match.
Yeah. And they're playing like their lives depend on it. And in terms of the tournament, it really does. And this is a sort of spirit. You wondered where it was for 50, 60 minutes in this one.
Yeah, it's taken them a little while to get clicking. And again, is it going to be too little too late? They've got a minute left of normal time, maybe a few minutes of additional time to get something. As the goalkeeper's had to come out of his own box, Szczesny, to clear the ball away. Not the best of clearances. And actually, the ball didn't keep in play anyway, so it'll be a Sweden throw-in. But it means now Sweden will be playing Croatia in their game. So realistically, when you look at it, it's a tough one, isn't it?
That's another corker. I think that's another one between two. A bit like Denmark, Wales. Sweden, Croatia is one of them where try and pick a winner if you can. Jesus. It's a good one, though. Good fixture.
Be a very good game indeed. As we're into the last 30 seconds here. Teams are out for tonight's game between Portugal and France. Just having a quick gander. Is there anybody who's missing? No, pretty much looks like same lineups as what they played in both games before. Koundé's in there for France, which first game for him as well, which is a good shout. Tolisso starts as well. And then for Portugal, Matinho, I think, is the only change. Renato Sanchez as well is in midfield, so they're going for it.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm presuming Rabiot drops out for France. And who's dropped out of the centre-back pairings? Which one's gone?
Kimpembe and Varane both there, so it looks like Koundé is going to be playing as the right-back.
Oh, Pavard's out. Okay.
And Pavard's out. We're in 5 minutes additional time.
Sorry, who's left-back? Because I know Digne played the second game.
Hernandez
is back in. Okay. No worries.
Should make for an interesting game. And we've got 4 minutes here. Can Sweden hold on? Doesn't really matter for them. Can Poland get the winning goal? They need it. And fast.
Right, Josh. There is a Slovakian sub warming up in the 88th minute. He's on the touch. Like, come on. I don't know the number. As Spain come forward, they won't score. Right, please be Laszlo. Just for he will get the Jadon Sancho cameo. Come on, Laszlo.
2 minutes. Let's hope he comes on for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, time's ticking. It'll only be a minute now.
Poland have got free kick. 4 minutes left. Just past the halfway line. Everybody's up for it. Can they get a ball into the box here? And come back from 2-0 down to win the game 3-2. I mean, this would be, for me, this would be the best game of the tournament, potentially, if this was to go in terms of a comeback. Yeah. Ball lobbed into the box. It's not the greatest of crosses. Head away by Danielson, but not far enough. Poland got the ball back again. Berezinski thought he'd kept the ball in play. It's gone out. Sweden get the ball back. And they've got about 3.5 minutes left to defend here for a win. Well, for a point, sorry. Is it Benes?
It is! He's replacing Marek Hamšík. He's passing the baton onto the creative midfielder of the future for Slovakia. Go on, Laszlo. Get in there. He's playing... let me see how much added time, because it'll be that plus 20 seconds. So there we go.
At least he's on for some of it. Sweden coming forward here. Have a chance to kill the game off. Oh, Seb Larsson with an effort, and so nearly could have put the ball in the back of the net. A little bit too much power on it in the end. It's never really dipping towards Szczesny's goal, and Szczesny will very quickly get the goal kick, which he does, and it comes back to Sweden again.
I wouldn't usually be happy to see 4 minutes, but it's more Laszlo, so 4 minutes additional time.
Good to see him on the pitch at least. That's what you want to see.
I now need to see him get a touch of the ball, and then everything will be complete.
2 minutes left here. Time running out for Poland. 2-2. Brilliant game this has been. Very enjoyable match to watch. No doubt, I think there'll be a few people looking at this game as potentially another one of the corkers of the tournament as Sweden come forward. Kulusevski at the edge of the box. Oh, it's brilliant. Seb Larsson, brilliant. Game over. And it's not Seb Larsson.
Oh,
Klassen in the end.
No.
Who puts it in? I thought it was Seb Larsson. Even the commentator said it was Larsson, but it was Klassen who got it. And that is game over for Poland. Sweden will go back to the top of the table. And they are going out of this game with a 3-2 win. Poland going home.
Well, I'm wondering if they'll have heard about it in Seville late on. But that, again, changes everything.
It does indeed, because now Sweden will be playing the Czechs. And
Yep.
I think if you are a fan of the Czechs, as Rowan will be, I think you'll be very happy that you're playing Sweden in the next round. Because one of you are making it through. And
Spain will play the Croats by the sounds of it.
They will indeed, which again is another corker of a match.
Jesus. This is setting up to be a really good round of 16.
Brilliant game this has been, though. Very enjoyable. And in the end, fair play to Poland. They tried the hardest to get something in this match. But again, it's looking too little too late. And Sweden now, on a night where, let's be honest, they haven't done much in this game. They've been very quiet, but they've been very clinical. And that's the most important part as well. Poland would need to score 2 in 30 seconds. And unfortunately, Lewandowski has tried his hardest. But unfortunately, it's not going to be enough as Poland get a free kick here, maybe a chance to get a consolation goal at best. And again, it would change up the group if this was to go in. Ball lobbed into the box. Lewandowski is one of the players in there, and it's a terrible cross the end, and that will be that. And the referee will blow his whistle very shortly, and Sweden will be finishing at the top of the group. But in fact, now, there was calls potentially for a check on VAR for a penalty for Poland, but it's all over. Full time. Poland are bowing out of the tournament. Sweden go through at the top of the table in style. Brilliant match.
Yeah, and the thing is, you look at it from a Poland perspective, I feel like in most games, they just turned up to the party too little too late. And they were always, I feel like in this tournament, fighting from behind all the time. And unfortunately, he's tried his best as Lewandowski. He's probably got immense back pain from carrying this Poland side, but it's not enough today. And I've got to admit, Josh, I have got 40 seconds left, but you could end it here. It's going to be 5-0 Spain. A cutting edge performance from a team that have struggled to put the ball in the back of the net. They've had a bit of help from the Slovakians, the Slovaks. Sorry, 2 own goals is a little bit of a help, but I think overall Spain much the better team and a good game against Croatia. I think it'll be a tight one.
Yeah, I think for the neutral, it's actually probably the better game in terms of what we wanted to see. I think there have been a few people who were actually hoping that Spain finished second for that match, because that now looks like an absolute corker of a game between Croatia and Spain. And obviously, if you're Croatia now, you're a little bit gutted, because for about a minute left of the game, you're actually looking like you're going to be coming up against Sweden, which would have been very exciting for them indeed. But I think it's making for a very exciting round of 16. A lot of very good games, I think, from what we've seen so far in terms of teams up against each other, very even games. And of course, we now look towards the next match tonight, which is Group F, which me and Ron will be doing very, very shortly indeed. And I'm just writing the lineups up. Big game, isn't it? Not just for the teams in Group F, but Ukraine's still in it, most importantly. No one's qualified from this group as the third place team. And it means now that Ukraine will be looking towards this group and hoping a miracle happens. Yeah. And somehow they make it through to the next round.
Yeah, so I think it's very actually, wait, are you... Sorry, I know I'm making things confusing again, but aren't Ukraine already in it? Confirmed, because they can't be worse than Finland and they can't be worse than Slovakia.
I'll have a look and see, but obviously that had just been the last about 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, because I don't think they could be worse than Finland, and I don't think they can be worse than Slovakia, because obviously Slovakia now have a -5 goal difference, so it's not them.
Yep, they are through. So Ukraine are in. Confirmed now. Ukraine are in. They've made it.
Yeah, so I was going to say they've. I don't want to say shithoused, Josh. They've shithoused it though. They're in.
Somehow they've done it.
Yeah, somehow they managed to get themselves into the next stage. Albeit unconvincing, of course, but everything seems set. We just know who's going to play who. The stars are on show tonight. Let's see who shines the brightest when the pressure's on.
We'll have to see. It's going to be very good indeed. And as I said, that'll be coming up very, very shortly with me and Rowan in about the next hour. We'll be going live at about 10 to. So we, of course, go over everything that's going on today. But in terms of all of the other action coming up, this is what's coming up on the channel over the next few days, as we have seen. Obviously, this 2 games are all done and dusted now. Slovakia, Spain, Sweden, Poland, all done. Very enjoyable match, Sweden, Poland. Yep. Lots of goals in the Spain game. That's coming up, I said 10 to 8. You're going to get the lineup sorted as I'm going through them now. Obviously, Portugal, France. I'm going to be covering Rowan, covering the Germany match. Wales, Denmark, first match of the round of 16. That's in 3 days' time. Got a 2-day break, which is a shame. That's at 10 to 5. And then the other match afterwards is with KL. It's Italy up against Austria. It could be an interesting game, that one. That's at 10 to 8 on the 26th of June. But we got some good goals today. We got plenty of goals between us.
Oh, all right. Plenty of goals and plenty of drama in one of the games specifically, obviously. Yours almost had a valiant comeback story, but they just fell off in the end. And that's kind of been the story of Poland's tournament, to be honest with you. Not a memorable one for them. Slovakia, unfortunately, were valiant for the first 2 games. Destroyed today by a better Spain side. So, but we'll all look forward to the marquee matchups, which are the late games today.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so indeed. If you're new to the stream, as always, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. If you want to check out our social media, links are in the chat and in the description, as always. Thanks to Kyle. And I think the perfect way to end it is that Pete put in the chat, the Shark was 5 out of 10. It was free because I would not buy it.
Oh, that really?
That's a shame.
There you go.
But what wasn't a shame? 10 goals between 2 matches.
Yeah. But, watch the football and don't eat sharks. There you go. That's just a logic.
That's the best way to go in life. But as I said, me and Rowan will be back in about 50 minutes for Portugal, France, Germany, Hungary. So do stick around. But as for now, thanks for watching. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And we hope to see you again soon. See you later.